May is busting out all over our local public TV station. A brilliant all-star festival, and always special in May or any other month.
Hey there, you probably remember when I talked about Sesame Street facing financial troubles and needing a new place to air a stream. Well, now all of PBS Kids is in big trouble. I usually don't like to be political on this YouTube channel, but our current president went and canceled the Ready to Learn funding grant. This really spells doom for PBS and their needs to educate children. As part of this, they've announced that the animated series Molly of Denali is ending after 4 seasons. And shortly afterward, it was announced that the new series Skillsville's been canceled, just a couple months after it premiered. What the heck? And that show seemed like it could really relate to today's kids, as according to the PBS website, this show, through the genre of video games, introduced kids to new careers and their value to the community. And it teaches them executive function skills to help them succeed at those careers in their life now. Come on! That's something really vital they need to teach kids at a young age. We can't just leave it all to the public schools, as they already have so much to teach children. Also, we could have had something like this happen over a decade ago, had that former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney be elected president. He wasn't a great governor to begin with, but if he were president of the United States, whew. But he wouldn't have been as bad as our President Chump, who reminds me of Prince John from Disney's Robin Hood. Heck, in 2016, Mitt even gave that speech denouncing Chump. But when Mitt announced he would cut fundings to PBS as part of being elected, so many memes and such popped up online about him, threatening to fire Big Bird to Sesame Street. And now the cycle's happening all over again. Though for a while, because of the factors I mentioned in my previous vlog on the subject, we're now getting such memes and content relating to Vice President Elon Musk threatening to fire Elmo. Of course, Elmo's been the main star of Sesame Street since the mid-1990s, and Big Bird went on to just be demoted to Elmo's sidekick. Heck, even Cookie Monster and Abby Cadabby tend to play larger roles than Big Bird nowadays. Of course, like I said, Sesame Street moved to HBO for first run 9.5 years ago, and then moved to the Max streaming service, partly because of budget and funding cuts at the time. And the Sesame Workshop is still facing rough financial times, partly for the reasons I mentioned, along with Max opting to not renew their license to stream Sesame Street, since that corrupt demon Zaslav is looking to phase out streaming content for kids and families on Max. That is why they purged the classic Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and Hanna-Barbera stuff, keep in mind. Of course, there's that 9-month window where PBS can then run the new Sesame Street episodes, excepting the episode each season focusing on Julia, their autistic Muppet. Being on the spectrum myself, like I said, Julia is the best thing to happen to Sesame Street in recent years, and I don't want to see that come to an end. Similarly, I really hope this doesn't put a halt to Carl the Collector, a PBS Kids animated series premiering last year about an autistic raccoon child with a fondness for collecting things. It's really cute and a great way to positively portray autism for kids. We need to spread more autism awareness, and PBS Kids is a good way to do it. Ever since that Arthur episode in 2010 introducing Carl, George's friend with Asperger's syndrome, and that relates to the main topic in a way. When Chump was president for 2017 to 21, they did some funding cuts for PBS, and that led to Arthur gradually reducing the number of episodes per season. From seasons 4 to 19, every season had 10 episodes. Though before the Chump administration, season 20 had already reduced to 7 episodes. And this is also around the time Sesame Street moved to HBO for first run. So I would imagine there were some funding cuts going around then. The number of episodes gradually decreased, and then they wrapped up production on the series in 2019 with 25 seasons, even if the series finale didn't air until February 2022. It was bittersweet, but still very satisfying finale for me, like the show finally grew up with me and my brother. Before it ended, Arthur even ended up becoming the second longest running animated show in North America. only behind The Simpsons. I can't believe it ran for that long. But PBS's second longest running animated series, Cyber Chase, I haven't heard anything about a 16th season yet. Hopefully it too doesn't become another casualty in these funding cuts. Of course, when I was a little cub, PBS didn't have any fully animated shows for kids yet, but I still grew up with quality children's programming in the early 1990s. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Sesame Street, Shining Time Station, and I even enjoyed several episodes of the first season of Barney and Friends, before all that anti-Barney mania came in. Then PBS introduced their first children's animated series in 1994 with the Magic School Bus, based on the science book series of the same name. Even if it was made for PBS, it was also produced with syndication in mind, given the fade to black in the middle of each episode that would usually lead to a commercial break in such an animated show. Along with those call the show segments at the end, deconstructing some of the creative liberties the episode took, or bringing up something else related to the main topic, how those can be cut in syndication. And in some ways, it does feel kind of like an educational type of Saturday morning cartoon, complete with all those stock cartoon tracks and Hanna-Barbera sound effects. Then 2 years later, Arthur premiered, and the rest is history. Series creator Mark Brown has expressed he is unhappy with the president cutting funds for PBS Kids. He did also create an edutainment animated series for Max titled Hop, and teaching about embracing their own uniqueness and overcoming any obstacles they face. I know it was also meant for Cartoonito, Cartoon Network's preschool block, and that will be ending later this month. No surprise, given Cartoon Network's past couple attempts at preschool blocks didn't last very long either. But yeah, PBS Kids is facing a lot of trouble now with these funding cuts. But you can help by making donations to the PBS Ways to Give fundraiser to protect my public media charity and to your local PBS station. Some links are provided in the video description, along with donating to WGBH, the local affiliate in my area. After all, you may recall those PBS shows often thanking viewers for funding being made possible by financial support from viewers like you. I plan to make a donation myself after I've saved up enough, since I still need a new IT job as well. Heck, even buying Sesame Street merchandise for your children or whatever, the revenue of that goes to Sesame Workshop and it'll provide funding for future projects. So that's another thing you gotta factor in. Like I said, back in the 80s, when some of that revenue also went to the Jim Henson Company, that kept Jim's company afloat. Anyways, we're all in a rough patch right now, but I hope things will improve soon, which you should find out if you keep watching this channel.